When shall we three meet again, in thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, and the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth.
I come, Grey Malkin.
How it calls.
And none.
Fair is foul, and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt in new estate.
This is the sergeant, who like a good and hearty soldier fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend, say to the king the knowledge of the royalists thou didst lead it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless Macdonald, worthy to be a rebel, for that the multiplying villainies of nature that do swarm upon him of the western isles, kerns and gallows glasses is applied, and fortune, on his damn coral smiling, showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak, for brave Macbeth, well, he deserves that name. Sustaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smokes with bloody execution. Like Valor's minion carved out the passage, till he faced the slave which ne'er shook hands, nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the naves of the chaps and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Valiant cousin, worthy gentleman.
As once the sun begins his reflection, shipwrecking storms and direful thunder breaks, so from that spring which comfort seemed to come, discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, mark. No sooner justice had, with Valor armed, compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lords, surveying vantage with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Displayed not this our captains, MacBeth and Banquo?
Yes, as sparrows, eagles, or the hare the lion, if I say sooth, I must report they were. As cannons overcharged with double cracks, till they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe, except they went to bathe in reeking glooms, or memorize another Golgotha, I cannot tell. But I am faint. My gashes cry for help.
So well thy words become thee as thy wound. They smack upon a both. Go get him surgeons. Who comes here?
O worthy Thane of Ross.
What a haste looks through his eyes. So should he look that seems to speak things strange.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian invaders fought the sky and fan our people cold. From Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor began a dismal conflict, till the Bolognians' bridegroom, lapsed in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons. Point against point rebellious, arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit, and, to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness.
That now Swano the Normies king craves composition, nor would we dine in the burial of his men till he disbursed us at St. Comsage $10,000 to our general use.
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou?
A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I. Aroint thee, witch, the rump-fed Ragnon cries. Her husband's to Aleppo gone, master of the tiger. But in a sea I'll thither sail, and like a rat without a tail, I'll do, and I'll do.
I'll give thee a wind.
Thou art kind,
And I another.
and I myself above the other. The very ports they blow, all the corners that they know, I the shipman's card. I will drain him dry as hay, sleep shall neither night nor day. Hang upon his penthouse lid, he shall live, a man forbid. Weary's nights, 9 times 9, he shall dwindle, peak, and pine, and though his bark cannot be lost, yet he shall of tempest tossed. Look what I have.
Show me, show me.
Here I have a pilot's thumb, rector's homeward did he come.
A drum, Macbeth doth come.
The weird sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus to go about, thrice to thine, and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9. Peace the charms wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How far is it called to forest? What are these so withered and so wild in their attire that look not like the inhabitants of earth, and yet are on it? They seem to understand me by each of their chappy fingers laying upon their skinny lips, though.
Speak if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
All hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth, thou shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that sound so fair? Aren't ye fantastical, and which outwardly ye show? My noble friend, you greet with present grace and great prediction of royal having and of noble hope. To me you speak not. But if you can look into the seeds of time and see which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail, hail,
Hail!
lesser than Macbeth and greater.
Not so happy and much happier.
Thou shalt get kings though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Stay, you imperfect speakers, tell me more. By Sinel's death, I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you!
The earth hath bubbles as the water has, and these are of them. Whether they vanished?
Into the air, and what seemed corporeal melted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed?
For such things here as we do speak about, or have we eaten off the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings,
And you shall be king.
and Thane of Cawdor too. Went it not so?
Self-same attuned words. Who's there?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' fights, his wonders and his praises do contend it should be thine or his. Silence with that, and viewing array the rest of the self-same day, he finds thee in the stout Moraine ranks, nothing affair of what thyself didst make strange images of death. As thick as hail came post with post, and everyone did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defense, and poured them down before him.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master, thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, not pay thee.
And for an earnest of great honor, he bade me, from him, call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition, hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What? Can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did line the rebel with hidden help and vantage, or that with both, he labored in his country's wreck, I know not, but treason's capital confessed and proved have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor, the greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That trusted home might yet kindle you unto the crown. Besides, the Thane of Cawdor, 'tis a bit strange, and often to win us to our harms. These instruments of darkness tell us our honest truths, and win us our most honest trifles and betray in deepest consequences. Cousins, a word I pray you.
Two truths are told as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion, whose horrid image doth unfix my hair, and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
Look at how our partner's wrapped.
If chance will have me king, why chance may crown me without my stir.
New horrors come upon him, like garments that cleave not to their mold, but with the aid of use.
Come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favor, my dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered, where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and at more time the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts each to other.
Very gladly.
Till then enough. Come, friend.
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they have not yet come back, but I have spoke with one who saw him die, and did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in this life became him like believing it. He died as one that would be studied in his death to throw away the dearest thing he owed, as to a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. O valiant cousin, The sin of my ingratitude even now is heavy on me. Thou art so far before that swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee, which thou hast less deserved, that the proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your Highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state, children and servants, which do but what they should by doing everything safe toward your love and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, who hast no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so, let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
Well, there if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton and fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest, know we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honor must not unaccompanied invest in him only, but signs of nobleness, like stars, shall shine on all deservers, from hence to Inverness and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy cobbler.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down, or else, or leap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
True, worthy Banquo, he is full so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him, whose care is gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest reports they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air into which they vanished. While I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me, to the coming on of time with Hail King that shalt be. This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou hast not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness has promised thee. Lay it to thy heart and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. Thou wouldst thou highly, thou wouldst thou holy, wouldst not play false, and yet what's wrong we win, great glams. That which cries, thus thou must do if thou have it, and that which rather dost fear to do, than wishes should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden realm which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it. Is not thy master with him, who wert so would have informed for preparation?
This is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, whom almost dead for rebirth could merely make up the message.
Give him tending. He brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from crown to toe top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, or keep peace between the affectionate. Come to my woman's breast, and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor peep through the blank of the dark to cry, Hold! Hold! Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than the all held after, thy letters have transported me beyond this instant, and I feel the future is in the present.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my thing, is a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, while to all our days and nights to come, give solace sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear, to alter favor, ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
This guest of summer, the temple of haunting Marlet does approve by his beloved missionary that the heaven's breath smells wooingly down here. No Judy, Frise, buttress, nor Corgan advantage. But this bird hath made his pendant bred and procreant cradle where they must bred and haunt. I've observed, the air is delicate.
See, our honored hostess. The love that follows us sometimes is our trouble, which still we think is love. Herein I teach you to bid God at us for your pains and thank us for your troubles.
All our service, in every point, twice done and then done double. We're poor in single business to contend against those honors deep and broad wherewith. Your majesty loads our house for those of old and late dignities heap up to them. We rest your hermits.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels and had a purpose to be his purveyor, but his great love, sharp as a spur, hath holp him to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight.
Your servants ever have there themselves and was theirs in compt, to bid your audit at your highness's pleasure. Still return to your own.
Give me your hand, conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here upon this bank and shoal of time, we'd jump the life to come. But in these cases we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions, which being taught return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued, against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity, like a naked newborn babe striding the blast or heaven's cherubim, horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now? What news?
He is almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has.
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk, wherein you dressed yourself, and wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I count thy love. Art thou afeared to be the same in thine own valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have, which thou esteems, the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the attic?
Prithee, peace! I dare do all that may become a man. Who dare do more is none.
What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. To do it now, you'd be so much more a man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while smiling in its face, have plucked my nipple from its boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had you so sworn to this.
If we should fail?
We fail, but screw your courage to the sticking place, and will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, where to his day's hard journey soundly invite him, his two chamberlains will I, with wine and wassail, so convince memory the ward of her brain, shall be a receipt of reason, and limbic only, when in swinish sleep their trenched natures lie as in a death. What cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not, but upon his spongy officers, which shall be the guilt of our great quell.
Bring forth men, children only, for thy undaunted mettle should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber, and used the very daggers that they'd have done it?
Who shall receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away and mark the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down, I have not heard the clock.
And she goes down at 12?
I take it, 'tis later, good sir.
Oh, take my sword, there's husbandry in the heavens. Their candles are all out, take me that too. A heavy summon lies like laid upon me, and I would not get to sleep. Merciful powers restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Give me my sword. Who's that?
A friend!
Oh, what? Sir, not yet at rest? The king's abed. He hath been on unusual pleasure and sent great forces to your offices. The diamond he greets your wife withal by the name of the most kindest hostess, and shut up in measureless content.
Being unprepared, our wills became the servant to defect which else should free have wrought.
I see. I too dreamt of the three weird sisters last night. To you they showed some truth.
I think not of them. Yet when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some time upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent, when 'tis, it shall make honor for you.
So I lose nothing by trying to argument it, but I keep my bosom's franchise and my allegiance clear. Then I shall be counseled.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir. Feel like to you.
Go bid thy mistress, when my drink is ready, she strike upon the bell. Get thee to bed. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshaled me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. My eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade in dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There is no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now o'er the one half-world nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings, and withered murder, alarmed by his sentinel the wolf, whose howls his watch, thus with Tarquin's ravishing stride towards his design moves like a ghost. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabout, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whiles I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. I'll go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is the knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. That which hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark, peace. It was the owl that shrieked the fatal bellman which gives the sternest good night. He's about it. The doors are open, and the servitor grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What hope?
Alack, I'm afraid they've awakened, and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark, I lay their daggers ready, he cannot miss them. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done. My husband!
I have done the deed. Did thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream, the crickets cry, did you not speak? me?
When?
Now.
Has I descended?
I.
Hark, who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one that did laugh in sleep, and one cried murder that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands. Listening their fear, I could not say amen when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
Wherefore can I not pronounce amen when I had most need of blessing and amen stuck in my throat?
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, which will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep, the innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care, the death of each day's life, sore labor's bath, balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still I cried, sleep no more, to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Why, worthy Thane, do you invent your noble strength to think so brain-sickeningly of these things? Go get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hands. Why did you bring these here? They must lie there. Go carry them and smear the sleepy groom's blood.
I'll go no more. I am afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose, give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If you do bleed, I'll gild the faces withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? Why is it with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are here? They pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's oceans wash this blood clean from my hand? No, this my hand will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so light. I hear knocking at the south entry. Retire we to a chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then? Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark, who are knocking. Get on your nightgown lest occasion call us. To be watchers, be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best to not know myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking! I would thou couldst.
Here's the knocking indeed. If a man were a reporter of the Hellgate, he should have an old turning key. Knock, knock, who's there? I, the name of Beelzebub. Here's a farmer who hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come time have napkins narrowed about you. Oh, come in, farmer. Knock, knock, who's there in the other devil's name? Faith, an equivocator who could swear on both sides of the scale and commit treason for God's sake, but could not equivocate himself into heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. Knock, knock, who's there? Faith, an English sailor come hither, who stole our French hose. Oh, come in, sailor, here you may roast your goose. Knock, knock. What are you? This place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter no further. I thought of letting some of all professions primrose way with everlasting balm of fire. And on I pray that you remember the porter.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing till the second cock, and drink is the great provoker of 3 things.
What 3 things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir, nose painting, sleep and urine. It's lechery. It provokes and it unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but it takes away the performance. It equivocates lechery. It makes him and it mars him. It turns him on and it turns him off. It makes him stand to, not stand to. In conclusion, it equivocates him into sleep and leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir. That I may take up my throat, that I may take up my legs, and I may shift the cast.
Is thy master stirring? Our knocking has awaked him. Here he comes. Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy thane?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I'm almost at the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys have been blown down, and as they say, lamenting I heard the air, strange screams of death, prophesying with accents terrible, of dire combustion and confused events. New hatched to the woeful time, the obscure bird clamored the livelong night. Some say the earth with fevers did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
Aye, my young remembrance cannot parallel fellow to it.
Oh, horror, horror, horror! Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's
the matter? Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke up the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
What didst you say, the life?
You mean his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new Gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See, then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bell. Murder and treason. Banquo and Donalbain, Malcolm, awake! Shake off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look on death itself. Up and see the great doom's image. Malcolm! Banquo! As from your graves, rise up and walk like sprites to countenance this horror. Ring the bell!
What's the business of such a hideous trumpet call so harley the sleepers of the house? Speak!
Oh, gentle lady, it is not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell.
Alas, in our house?
Oh, Banquo, our royal master's murdered.
Oh, too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, I prithee contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this time, I'd have lived a blessed time. For from this instant there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys, renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lease is left this vault to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are, and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
Oh, by whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seems, has done it. Their hands and faces were badged with blood. So were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury, that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition of my violent love outrun the pauser reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their weapons unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain, who had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make its love known?
Help me, yes.
Look to the lady.
Oh, look to the lady. And so, when we have our naked frailties hid that have suffered in great exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to get to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us, but in the great hand of God I stand, and thence against undivulged pretense I fight, of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
So all.
Let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Well contended.
This murder shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and my safest way is to avoid the aim. Thereby, horse, and let me not be dainty with the leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft which steals itself when there's no mercy left.
Threescore and 10 I can remember well, within the volume of which time I've seen, hours dreadful, things strange. But this sore night hath trifled former knowings.
Aye, good father, thou seest the heavens as troubled man's act threaten his bloody stage. By clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the traveling lamp. Is it night's predominance, or day's shame, that darkness is the face of earth and tomb when living light should kiss it?
'Tis unnatural, even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday last, a falcon, towering in her pride of place, was by a mousing owl hawked at and killed.
And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauteous and swift, the minions of their race, turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out, contending against obedience as they would make war with mankind.
'Tis said they eat each other.
They did so to the amazement of mine eye who looked upon it. Here comes the good Macduff. How goes the world, sir, now?
Why, see you not?
Is it known who did this more than a bloody deed?
Those the Macbeth has slain.
Alas the day, what good could they pretend?
They were suborned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's two sons, are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
Gainst nature's still thriftless ambition that wilt brave enough thine own life's means, then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to Scotland to be invested.
Where's Duncan's body?
Carried to Colmkill, the sacred storehouse of his predecessors and guardians of their bones.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin, not to Fife.
All thither.
Well, may you see things well done there, adieu, lest our old robes sit easier than our new.
Farewell, father.
God's benison go with you, and with those that make good of bad and friends of foes.
Well, thou hast it now. King, Cawdor, Glamis, all as the three bird sisters promised. And now I fear. Thou hast played most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy prosperity, but that myself should be the root and father of any kings. If speeches come from them as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine wide by the varieties of the made good. May they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? Oh, hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been a gap in our great feast and all things becoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to thee which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie, forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Ah, my lord.
We should have else desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council. But we'll take tomorrow. Is it far you ride?
As far, my lord, as time fills up twixt with supper, go not with my horse the better, for I must become a borrower of the night, for a dark hour or twine.
Fail not our feast.
I will not, my lord.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing the cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. Hie you to horse, adieu to your return at night. Goes Phileons with you?
Ah, my lord, time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. While then God be with you. Sirrah, a word with you. Attend those men our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked, as it is said Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and baited them speak with him. Then prophet-like they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my grip, then to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them, the gracious Duncan, have I murdered. Put rancors in the vessel of my peace, only for them and mine eternal jewel, given to the common enemy of man, to make them kings, the seed of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come fate into the list and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Now go to the door and stay there till we call. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so pleased, Your Highness.
Well then, now have you considered of my speeches? This I made good to you in our last conference, passed in probation with you. How you were borne in hand, how crossed the instruments who wrought with them, and all things else, to half a soul into a notion crazed, say, thus did Banquo.
You've made it known to us.
I did so, and went further. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go?
We are men.
And so of men. Now if you have a station in that file, not in the worst rank of manhood, say it, and I will put that business in your bosom, whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart and love of us, who wear our health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows above of the world have so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world.
And I am another so weary with disaster, tugged with fortune, that I would set my eye on any chance to amend it or revert on.
All of you know Banquo was your enemy?
True, my lord.
So he is mine, and in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life, that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Your spirit shine through you. Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves, acquaint you with the perfect spy of the times, the moment on it, for it must be done tonight. And something from the palace. Always thought that I require a clearness. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight. Abide within. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Is Banquo gone from court?
Aye, madam, but returns again tonight.
Say to the king I'll attend his leisure for a few words.
Madam, I will.
Not had all spent where our desires got without content, to safely be that which we destroy, the destruction dwell and doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies and companions making, using those thoughts which have indeed died, with them they think on, things that with remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and feed herself whilst our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. But let the frame of things destroyed, both the world suffer, ere we will eat our meal in fear, and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we to gain our peace have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst. Nor steel, nor poison, malice domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come on, gentle my lord, sleek over your rugged looks, be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I love, and so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo, present him eminence, both with eye and tongue. Unsafe the while that we must lave our honors in these flattering streams, and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo in his faience lives.
But in them nature's copy's not a turn.
There's comfort yet, they are assailable. Then be thou jocund, ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere on black Hecate summons the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums hath rung night's yawning peal, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day do begin to droop and drowse, while night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvels at my words, yet hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So prithee, go with me.
But who did bid thee join with us?
MacBeth, he needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our offices and what we have to do to the direction just.
And stand with us. In the west yet glimmer with some streaks of day, spur the late travelers in the town, the subject of our watch.
Halt! I hear horses. Give us light there. Oh.
Let this heed. The rest are within the note of expectation. Already are in the court.
His horses go about?
Almost a mile, but he does your duty. All men hence to the palace gate, making sure warm.
A light, a light.
'Tis he.
Stand to!
This will be rain tonight.
Let it come down!
Oh, treachery! Fly, miscreants! Fly! Fly! Thou mayst ready! Oh, slave!
Waste not the way.
We have lost, but it's half of our affair.
Well, let's away and say much is done.
Broad in general as the casing air, but now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound in by saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo's safe.
Aye, my good lord, safely did he bide, with 20 trench gashes on his head, a leaf the death to nature.
Thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present. Get thee gone, we'll hear ourselves again tomorrow.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold that is not often belched, while 'tis a making, 'tis given with welcome. To feed were best at home, from thence the sauce to meat is ceremony. Meeting were bare without it.
Sweet remembrancer, now good digestion waits on appetite and health on both.
May it please your highness sit.
The table's full.
Here, a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is it that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What's my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. You never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise, his highness is not well. Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed and regard him not. Are you a man?
I am a bold one that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these flaws and starts, impostors to true fear, would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire, authorized by her grandam. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces? When all is done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there. Behold, look low. How say you? Why, what care I, if thou canst not speak to? If charnel houses and our graves must send, those that we bury back on monuments shall be the maws of kites.
But quite unmanned and folly.
If I stand here, I saw him.
High for shame.
Blood hath been shed ere now. In the olden time, ere humane statute purged the gentle wheel, Aye, and since 2 murders have been performed too terrible for the ear, the time has been that when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. But now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on the crown and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all, then I'll sit down. Give me some wine, fill full. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, who we miss. Would he were here, to all in him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties and our pledge.
Avaunt and quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee, thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good peers. This is a thing of custom. 'Tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
What man dare? I dare! Approach thou like a rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros or the hurricane tiger. Take any shape but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble. Will be alive again, and dare me to the desert with thy sword. If trembling I inhabit, then protest me the baby of a girl. Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery, hence! Why, so being gone, I am a man again. Pray you sit still.
You have displaced the mirth and broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
Can such things be and overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe, but now I think you can behold such sights and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you, speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand out upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night and better health. Attend to his majesty.
Kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have by maggot pies and chows and rooks brought forth a secret man of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning, which is which.
How sayst thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them, but in his house I keep a servant feed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know by the worst means the worst. For mine own good, all causes shall give way. I am in blood, stepped in so far that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as going o'er. Strange things I have in head that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all nature, sleep.
Come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that once hard use. We are yet but young indeed.
Why, how now, Hecate, look angrily.
Have I not treason, beldams, as you are, succeed over bold? How did you dare to trade and traffic with Macbeth, and riddles and affairs of death? And I, the mistress of your charms, the close contriver of all harms, was never called to bear my part, or show the glory of our art. And which is worse, all you have done hath been but for a wayward son, spiteful and wrathful, who, as others do, loves for his own ends, not for you. But to make amends now, get you gone, and at the pit of Igron meets me in the morning, thither he will come to know his destiny. Your vessels and your spells provide, your charms and everything beside. I am for the air this night I'll spend, unto a dismal and fatal end. Great business must be wrought ere noon. Upon the corner of the moon there hangs a vapor struck profound. I'll catch it ere it come to ground, and that distilled by magic's light shall raise, shuts artificial sprites, as by the strength of that illusion shall draw him unto his confusion. He shall spurn fate, scorn death, and bear, he hopes, both wisdom, grace, and fear. And you all know security is mortal's chiefest enemy. Hark! I am called. My little spirit sea sits in a foggy cloud and stays for me.
Come, let's make haste. She'll be back again.
My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret further. Only I say, things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitted of Macbeth. Marry, he was dead, and the right valiant Banquo walked too late. Whom you may say, if to please you, Viance killed for Viance fled. Men must not walk too late. Who cannot want a thought how monstrous? It was for Malcolm and for Donalbain to kill their gracious father? Damn fact. How it did grieve Macbeth. Did he not straight impious raids the two delinquents tear, that were the slaves of drink and thralls of sleep? Was that not nobly done? Aye, and wisely too, for 'twould have angered the heart of any alive to hear man denied. So that I say, he has borne things all well. I do think, had he Duncan's sons under his key, as it pleased heaven he should not, they should find. What 'twere to kill a father, so should Flaunce, but peace, for from broad words and cause he failed his presence at the tyrant's feast. I hear Macduff lives in disgrace. Sir, can you tell where he bestows himself?
The son of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds the due of birth, lives in the English court and is received of the most pious Edward with such grace that the malevolence of fortune nothing takes from his high respect. Thither Macduff is gone to pray the holy king upon his aid to wake Northumberland and warlike Seward, that, with the help of this, with him above to ratify the work, we may again give to our tables meat, sleep to our nights, free from our feasts and banquets bloody knives, do faithful homage and receive free honors, all of which we pine for now. And this report hath so exasperate that the king he prepares for some attempt of war.
Sent he to Macduff?
He did, and with an absolute stir not I, the cloudy messenger turns me his back and hums, as one should say, you will rue the day that clogs with this answer.
And that well might. Advise him to a caution, to hold what distance his wisdom can provide. Some holy angel fly to the court of England and unfold his message ere he come, that a swift blessing may soon return to this, our suffering country, under a hand accursed.
I will send my prayers with him.
Thrice the branded cat hath mewed.
Thrice and once the hedge pig whined.
Harpy your cries, 'tis time, 'tis time.
Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw. Toad that under cold stone days and nights has 31. Sweltered venom sleeping got, boiled out first, I churned the pot. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Fillet of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blind worm's sting, lizard's leg and owlet's wing, for a charm of powerful trouble, like how broth boil and bubble.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy maw and gulf. Of the raven salt sea shark, root of hemlock, dig it in the dark. Silvered by the moon's eclipse, nose of Turk and Tartar's lips. Finger a birth-strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab. Make the gruel thick and slab, and thereto a tiger's charge, and for the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Cool it with the baboon's blood, till the charm is firm and good.
Oh, well done. I commend you of your pains, and everyone shall share the gains. Now about the cauldron sing live elves and fairies in a ring, enchanting all that you put in.
By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. Open lock whoever knocks.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is it you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess. Howe'er you come to know it, answer me. Though you untie the winds and let them fight against the churches, though the yeasty waves confound and swallow navigation up, even till destruction sicken, answer me to what I ask you.
Speak,
Demand.
Will answer.
Say if thou'st rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call 'em, let me see 'em.
Pour in so's blood that hath eaten her 9 furrow. Grease that sweetened murderer's gibbet, throw into the flame. Come high or come low, thyself in office deftly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought, hear his speech, but say thou not.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth! Beware thy duff, beware thy bite, dismiss me enough!
Whate'er thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright. But one word more.
You will not be commanded. Here is another more potent than the first.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth.
Had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody bold and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of women born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee? And yet I'll make assurance double sure and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this that rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon his baby brow the rounded top of sovereignty?
Listen, but speak not to it.
Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care, who chants, who frets, or his spirit is art. Macbeth shall never vanquish be, until great Burnham Wood to high Deucenay Hill shall come against us.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest? Bid the tree unfix his earthbound root. Sweet bodements, good, rebellious dead, rise never till the wood of Burnham rise, and our high-placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom. And yet my heart throbs to know one thing more. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know. Why sinks that cauldron? And what noise is this?
Show. Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down thy crown to sear mine eyeballs. And thy hair, thou other gold-bound brow, is like the first. A third is like the former filthy hags. Why do you show me this? A fourth, starred eyes. What will the lines stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet, a seventh, I'll see no more. And yet an eighth appears, which shows me many more. In some I see that twofold bowls and treble scepters carry. Horrible sight! And now I see 'tis true, for the blood-vaulted Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. What is this so?
Aye, sir, 'tis so. But why stands Macbeth thus amazedly? Come, sisters, cheer up his sprites and show the best of our delights. I'll charm the air to give a sound while you perform your antic round, that this great king may kindly say our duties did his welcome pay.
Where are they? Gone? Let this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in without them.
What is your grace's will?
Saw you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did hear the galloping of horse. Who was it came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word. Macduff is to fled.
Fled to England?
Aye, my lord.
Time thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose never is o'ertook unless the deed go with it. From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And even now, to crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon fight, and give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that traced him in his line. No boasting like a fool, this deed I'll do before this purpose cool. But no more sights. Where are these gentlemen? Come, bring me where they are.
done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom, to leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly, he loves us not. He wants the natural touch, but the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight. Her young ones in her nest against the owl, all is the fear and nothing is the love. As little as the flight, where the flight so runs against all reason.
My dearest coz, I pray you, school yourself. But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the seasons. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are the traitors and do not know ourselves. When we hold rumor from what we fear, and yet know not what we fear, but float upon a wild and violent sea each way move. I take my leave of you, shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at worst will cease or climb upward to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Father he is, and yet he fatherless.
I am so much fool should I stay longer. It would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I take my leave at once.
Sirrah, your father's dead. What will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, mother.
What, with worms and flies?
With what I get I feed, and so do they.
Poor bird, thou'st never feared the net nor lime, the pitfall nor the gin.
Why should I, mother? Poor birds, they are not set for. My fathers are dead for poor sake.
Yes, he is dead. How wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, how you do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
Then you'll buy and sell again.
Thou speakest with all thy wit, and yet I, faith with wit enough for thee.
Was my father a traitor, mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
And must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Every one.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
So the liars and swearers are fools. The liars and swearers are now to be the honest men, and hang up them.
Now, God help thee, poor monkey, but how wilt thou do for a father?
If he were dead, you'll plead for him. If he were not, it were good sign that I quickly have a new father.
Poor prattler, how thou talkest.
Bless you, fair dame! I am not known to you, though in your state of honor I am perfect. Doubt some danger does approach you nearly. People take a homely man's advice, be not found here, hence with the little ones. To fright you thus, methinks I am too savage, to do to you which were to you fell cruelty, which is too nigh your person, heaven preserve you. I dare abide no longer.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm, but I remember now, I am in this earthly world, where to do harm is often laudable to do good sometimes. Accounted dangerous folly, why then, alas, do I put up that womanly defense to say I have done no harm? What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
Why, I hope in no place so unsanctified or such as thou mayst find him.
He is a traitor.
The lies, the shag-haired villain!
What, you egg? Young frat treachery!
Mother, he has killed me. Run, I pray to you.
Let us seek some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty.
Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, and like good men bestride our downfall and burden. Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face, that it resounds as if it fell with Scotland, and yelled out like syllable of the Lord.
But I believe I'll wail. What no believing what I can redress, as I shall find the time to, friend, I will. What you spoke here may be so perchance. This tyrant whose sole name blisters our tongues was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me. Wisdom to offer a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry God.
I'm not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge. But I shall crave your pardon, that which you are my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. Though all things foul were the brows of grace, yet grace must still excel.
I've lost my hopes.
Perchance even there where I did find my doubts. Why in the rawness you left wife and child? Those precious motives, those strong knots of love without leave taking. I pray you, let not my jealousies be your dishonors, but rather mine own safeties. You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
Bleed, bleed, poor country. Great tyranny! Lay thou thy basest joy, and for goodness dare not check thee. Where thou thy wrongs, the title is afeared. Fare thee well, Lord, I would not be the villain that thou thinkst, for the whole space that's in the tyrant's grasp, and the riches to boot.
Be not offended, I speak not in absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think with all there be hands uplifted in my right, and here from gracious England I've offered goodly thousands, but for all this, when I should tread upon that tyrant's head or wear it upon my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than I had before, more suffer in soggy ways by him who shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself, I mean, of whom I know all the particulars of vice so grafted that, when they shall be opened, black Macbeth will seem as pure as snow. The poor state esteem him as a lamb being compared with my confinements and arms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name. But there is no bottom, none, in my voluptuousness. Your wives, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids could not fill up the cistern of my lust. My desire all continent impediments would overbear that did oppose my will. Better Macbeth than such a one to reign.
Boundless intemperance in nature is a tyranny, and it hath been the sword untimely emptying of the happy throne and fall of many kings. But fear not yet to take upon you what is yours. You may convey your pleasures in a spacious plenty, and yet seem cold in time you may so hoodwink. We have willing dames enough. There cannot be that vulture in you to devour so many as will to greatness dedicate themselves, finding it so inclined.
With this there grows my most ill-composed affection, such a staunchless avarice that, were I king, I would cut off the nobles for their lands, desire his jewels in this other's house, and my more having would be as a sauce to make me hunger more, that would forge quarrels unjust against the good of loyal, destroying them for wealth.
This avarice sticks deeper, grows with more prodigious fruit than summer seeming lust, and it hath been the sword of our slain kings. But fear not, Scotland hath poisons to fill up your will. Of your mere own all these are portable, with other graces weighed.
But I have none, the king becoming graces as verity, temperance, stableness, mercy, lowliness, bounty, perseverance, devotion, patience, courage, fortitude. I have no relish of them, but abound in the division of each several crime, acting in many ways. Nay, had I power, I would pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth.
Oh, Scotland, Scotland!
If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live. O nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant, bloody scepter, when shalt thou see thy wholesome days again? Since that the truest issue of thy throne by his own interdiction stands accursed, and doth blaspheme his breed. Thy royal father was a most sainted king. The queen that bore thee, oftener upon her knees than on her feet, died every day she lived. Fare thee well. These evils thou repeatest upon thyself have banished me from Scotland. While my breast, thy hope ends here.
Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples and reconciled my thoughts done in good truth and honor. Devilish Macbeth, by many of these trains, has sought to win me into his power. Modest wisdom plucks me from over credulous haste, but God above do between thee and me. For even now I put myself to thy direction, and unspeak my own detraction. Hereby abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself, for strangers to my nature. I am yet unknown to woman. Never was forsworn, scarcely had coveted what was mine own. At no time broke my faith, would not betray the devil to his fellow, delight no less in truth than life. My first false speaking was this against myself. What I am truly is thine, and my poor country's to command. Whither indeed, before thy here approach, old Seward with 10,000 warlike men already at a point was setting forth. Now we'll together, and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once 'tis hard to reconcile.
Well, more anon. Comes the king forth, I pray you.
Aye, sir. There are poor wretched souls that stay his cure. Their malady commences the great assay of art.
But at his touch, such sanctity hath heaven given his hand, they presently amend.
I thank you, doctors.
What's the disease he means?
'Tis called the evil, most miraculous work in this good king, which often since my here remain in England I have seen him do. How he solicits heaven himself best knows, but strangely visited people, all swollen and ulcerous, mere despair of surgery, pitiful to the eye, he cures, hanging a golden staff about their necks, put on with holy prayers, and to spoken to the succeeding royalty, he leaves them the healing benediction. With this strange virtue, he hath the heavenly gift of prophecy, and sundry blessings hang about his throne that speak him full of grace.
See who comes here.
My countrymen, and yet I know him not.
My ever-gentle cousin, welcome hither.
I know him now. Good God, the times remove the means that makes us strangers.
Sir, amen.
Stand Scotland where it did?
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave, where nothing but who knows nothing is once seen to smile. Where sighs and groans and shrieks that rend the air made not marked. The dead man's knell is there scarce asked for who, and good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps die or ere they sicken.
O relation, too nice and yet too true.
What's the newest grief?
That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker. Each minute teems a new one.
How's my wife?
Why, well.
And all my children?
Well, too.
The tyrant has not battered at their peace?
No, they were all at peace when I did leave them.
But not a beggar of your speech. How goest?
When I came hither to transport the tidings which I had heavily borne, there ran a rumor of many worthy fellows that were out, which was to my belief witness rather, for thus I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight to doff their dire distresses.
Be it their comfort, we come thither. Gracious England hath lent us good seaward and 10,000 men, and older and better soldier none than Christendom gives out.
But I could answer this comfort with a like, but I have words that would be howled out in the desert air when hearing should not latch them.
What concern they? The general cause, or is it a defeat grief to some single breast?
No mind fits honest, but it shares some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possesses them with the heaviest sound that yet they ever heard.
I guess at it.
Your castle surprised, your wife and babes savagely slaughtered to relate to marrow on these corridors out to death field.
Merciful heaven. What, man? Give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers the overfraught heart and bids it break.
My children too?
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence. My wife killed too?
I have said.
Be comforted. Let us make medicines of this great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has none. All my pretty ones? Did you say all? Oh, hellkite, all? One of my pretty chickens in their dame with one fell swoop.
Disputed like a man.
I shall do so, but I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things were that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part? Sinful Macduff, they were all struck for thee. Not that I am enough for their own demerits, but for mine fell slaughter on their souls. Heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Convert grief to anger. Blunt not the heart, enrage it.
Oh, I could play the woman with mine eyes and brag with thy tongue. But gentle heavens cut short all intermission front to front. Bring now this fiend of Scotland and myself within my sword's length set him. If he escape, heaven forgive him too.
This tune goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready, and our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
I have 2 nights watched with you, but perceive no truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Since his majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this while in a most fast sleep.
A great perturbation in nature, to receive at once both the benefit of sleep and do the effects of watching.
In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other active performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You may to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you nor anyone having no witness to confirm my speech.
Well, you, here she comes. This is her very dice, and upon my life, fast sleep. Observe her, stand close.
How came she by that light?
Why, I stood by her. She was led by her continually. 'Tis her command.
You see, her eyes are open.
Aye, but their senses shut.
And what is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands.
It is an accustomed action with her to seem thus washing her hands. I've known her continue this in a quarter of an hour.
Yet here's a spot.
Hark, she speaks. I'll set down what comes from her to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly.
Out, damned spot! Out, I say! 1, 2, then 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie, a soldier to fear, yet who we fear knows it when none can call our power to account. Who'd have thought the old man to have so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The thing of fight had a wife. Where is she now? What will these hands never be clean? No more of that, my lord. No more of that, you more all of this with the starting.
Go to, you have known what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not, I am sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
Yet here's the smell of the blood smell. The sweetest perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand.
What a sigh is there! The heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well.
Pray God it be, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice.
Yet I have known those which have walked in their sleep, yet died wholly in their beds.
Put on your nightgown. Look not so I tell you yet again, Banquo is buried. He cannot come out of one's grave.
Even so?
Come, come, come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed, to bed, to bed.
Will she go now to bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are upon us. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural trouble. Infected minds through their death pills will discharge her secrets. She needs more than the divine physician. God, God forgive us all.
Look after her. Make sure to remove from her the means of all annoyance, yet still keep eyes upon her. Good night. My mind she has made it, and amazed my sight. I think, but dare not to speak.
Good night, doctors.
The English power is near, led on by Malcolm, his uncle Seward, and the good Macduff. Revenge is burned in them for their dear causes, which the bleeding and the grim alarm excite the mortified man.
Near Burnham Wood shall we will meet them. That way are they coming.
Who knows if Donalbain will be with his brother?
For certain, sir, he is not. I have a file of all the gentry. There is a Seward's son, and many unwrought youth that even now protest their first demand.
And what of the tyrant?
Great Duncanning, he strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad, others that lesser hate him do call it a valiant fury. But for certain he cannot buckle his distempered cause within the belt of rule.
Now does he feel his secret murder sticking on his hands. Now immediately revolts upbraid his faith breach. Those he commands move only in command, nothing in love. Now does he feel his title hang loose about him like a giant's robe upon a dwarfish thief.
And who then shall blame his pestered senses to recoil and start when all that is within him does condemn itself for being here?
Well, march we on, to give obedience where 'tis truly owed. Make we the medicine of the sickly will, and with us pour in our country's purge each drop of us.
Or as much as it needs, to do the sovereign flower and drown the weed. We make our march to Burnham!
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. Till Burnham Wood we move to Duncanning. I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. Then fly, false thanes, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by, and the heart I bear, shall never sag with doubt, nor shake in fear. The devil damn thee, black, thou cream-faced loon. Where got'st thou that goose look?
There's 10,000.
Geese, villain.
Soldiers, sir.
Go prick thy face, and overread thy fear, thou lily-livered boy. What soldier's patch? Death of thy soul, those linen cheeks of thine are counselors to fear. What soldiers, wayface?
The English force so please you.
Take thy face hence. Satan! I am sick at heart when I behold. Satan, I say! This push will cheer me ever or deceit me now. I have lived long enough. My way of life is fallen into sear, the yellow leaf, and that which should accompany old age, such as honor, love, obedience, troops of friends, I must not look to have, but in their stead curses, not loud but deep, mouth honor, breath which the poor heart fain deny, but dare not. Satan!
What is your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I will fight to, from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my armor.
'Tis not needed yet.
I'll put it on. Send out more horses. Skir the country round. Hang those that talk of fear. Give me mine armor. How does your patient, doctors?
Not so sick, my lord.
As she is troubled with thick coming fancies that keep her from arrest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind disease? Pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow. Raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet, oblivious antidote, cleanse that stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff that weighs upon the heart.
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physics to the dogs, I'll none of it. Come, give me my staff. Seaton, send out. Doctors, the thanes fly from me. Come, sir, dispatch. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the waters of my land, find her disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health, I would applaud thee to the very echoes that should applaud again. Pull it off, I say! What rumor, senna, or what further drug would scour these English hens? Hear'st thou of them?
Aye, my good lord, your royal preparation makes us hear something.
Bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death in vain till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane.
Were I from Dunsinane away and clear.
Prophet again.
Should hardly go.
Cousins, I hope the days are near at hand, for Chambers will be safe.
We doubt nothing. What is this before us? The wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host, and make discovery ere and report to us.
It shall be done. We learn no other, but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane and will endure setting down the fort.
'Tis his main hope, for where there's advantage to be given, both more and less have given him the revolt, and none serve him but constrained things whose hearts are absent too.
Let our just censors attend the true event and put we on industrious soldiership.
The time approaches that will with a due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe. Not speculative, then sure hopes are late, but certain issue strokes must arbitrate. Towards which advance the war.
Hang out our banner on the outward wall. The cry is still they come. Our castle's strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here let them lie till famine and the ague eat them up. Were they not forced with those that should be ours, we might have met them, therefore, beard to beard, and beat them backward home. What is that noise?
'Tis the cry of women, my lord.
I have almost forgotten the taste of fears. The time has been my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek, and my fell of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir as life were in it. I have supped full with horrors. Direness familiar with my slaughterous thoughts cannot once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. All our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle, life's but a walking shadow. The poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Gracious my lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say it, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked towards Burnham, and anon, methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Let me endure your wrath. If it be not so, within this 3 mile may you see it coming, I say, a moving grove.
If thy speech falls upon that next tree shalt thou hang alive, till famine cling thee. If thy speech be soothed, I care not. If thou'st for me as much, I cool in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of these fiends that lie like truth. Fear not till Burnham Wood comes to Dunsinane. Well, now a wood comes towards Dunsinane, arm and out. If that which he avouches does appear, there can be no flying hence nor tallying here. I begin to be aweary of the sun, and wish the state of the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell, blow wind, come rack, at least we'll die with harness on our back.
Now near enough, your leafy screens throw down and show like those you are. You, worthy Uncle, shall with my cousin, your right noble son, lead our first battle. Worthy Macduff and we shall take upon what else remains to do according to our order.
Very well. Do we but find the tyrant's power tonight? Let us...
Make all our trumpets speak. Give them all breath, those clamorous harbingers of blood and death.
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear like I must fight the course. What's he that was not of a woman born? Such a one am I to fear or none.
What is thy name?
Thou'st be afraid to hear it.
No, though thou callest thyself a hotter name than any is in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself title more hateful to my ear.
No, nor more fearful.
Thou liest! Tyrant, with my sword I'll prove the lie thou speakest.
Thou was born of a woman, but swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by a man that's of a woman born.
That way the noises, tyrant, show thy face, and if thou be slain, and with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched currents whose arms are hired to bear their staves. Either thou Macbeth, or else my sword with an unbattered edge I sheathe again unheeded. There thou should be, by this great clatter, one of greatest note seems prudent. Let me find him fortune, and more I beg not.
This way, my lord, the castle's gently rendering. The tyrant's people on both sides do fight, the noble thanes do brave in the war. The day itself almost profess his horse, there is little to do.
We've met with foes that strike beside us.
This way, my lord, the castle.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? While thy sea lions, the gashes do better upon them.
Turn, hellhound, turn!
Of all men else I have avoided thee. But get thee back, my soul is too much charred in blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword. Thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
Thou losest labor. As easy mayst thou be entrenched in air with thy keen sword impress as make me bleed. Lift all thy blade on vulnerable crest. I bear a charm flight, which must not yield to one of women born.
Despair thy charm and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee. Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Accursed be the tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believe that palter with us in a double sense, and keep the word of promise to our ear, and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward, and let it be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee as our rare monsters are, painted on a pole and underwrit. Here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse. Though Burnham would come to Dunk's name, and thou oppose being of no woman born, yet I shall try the last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff, and damn be him that first cries, "Hold, enough!"
I would our friends were safe arrived.
Some must go off, and yet by these I see so great a day as chief thought.
Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, his petty soldier's dead. He only lived until he was a man in the unshaken station where he fought. But like a man, he died. Then he is dead. Aye, and brought off the field. Your cause of sorrow must not be measured by his worth, for then it hath no end. Had he his hurts before? Aye, on the front. Why then, God's soldier be he. Had I as many sons as I had heirs, I would not have wished him a fair death. And so his now is null.
He's worth more sorrow and that I'll spend for him.
He is worth no more. They say he parted well and paid his score, and so God be with him. Here comes newer comfort.
Hail, King! For so thou art wherever he stands, the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl that speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail, King of Scotland!
We should not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with your several loves and make us even with you. My thanes and kinsmen henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honor named. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, is calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who has just thought by self and violent hands took off her life. This and what needful else calls upon us by the grace of grace, we perform in time, measure, and place. So thanks to all at once and to each one whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone.